Yeah, my gift wasn't helping the family.
Oh.
But I love my family, you know?
Oh, Brunito, do you want like a hug?
Your vision.
I don't fucking know.
Bruno.
I'm sorry, is everyone else shocked? Well, good, because Bruno never actually left. He was inside Casita the entire time, patching up the cracks in the walls like he was trying to patch up the cracks in the family. And that's already heartbreaking enough, but what really gets me is the plate he drew on the table. Come on now, you really want to break my heart this way? He was watching them eat together year after year, just waiting, yearning to be part of it again. That's how deep his exile ran, not just physical distance, but being erased from the family while still living inside it one way or another. Bruno is odd. I mean, after all of these years spent on his own, I don't blame him. He talks to rats, performs these little skits with himself, has entire characters he plays to keep himself company, but he knows their performances, which makes me understand that this isn't delusion, this is survival. When you've been isolated for that long, your mind starts to fragment just to have someone to talk to. Bruno has the experience of someone living on a deserted island, with the exception that, you know, he could have left at any time. What's tragic is that at one point he jokes that his real gift was acting, and I connected to something a bit deeper. I mean, what a surprise, right? That's why you're here after all. It seems like deep down he knows that if his talent couldn't serve the family in the way Abuela deemed useful, then it simply didn't matter. He never could choose on what gift to focus on and invest in. He had to choose the one that would be most in service for others, leaving his personal ambitions in the shadows. The superstitions, the knocking, the salt throwing, those aren't just quirks. These are trauma responses, if you ask me, because when a person has been blamed their entire life for things going wrong, they start to believe that maybe, just maybe, if they do the right thing, if they knock 3 times, if they follow the right ritual, if they remove themselves from a situation, they can somehow keep the bad things from happening. It's a desperate attempt to gain control in a life where he never had any. And here's the worst part. Bruno left the family not because he wanted to, but because he thought it was the only way to help them. He saw that his existence only caused stress, that his truths only brought fear, so he did what scapegoats in devouring mother-led families often do. He erased himself because that was the only way to stay. If the only way to be accepted is to not be seen, then you make yourself invisible, no matter what it takes. But he never actually left, you see, because deep down, he knew that the prophecy would unfold and that Mirabel or the family or both would eventually need him, his help. So he stayed, not in defiance, not in anger, but in quiet, unwavering love. He sacrificed himself for a family that barely even noticed he was gone, because in their world, you either fit the role you were assigned or you disappear, and then they sing a whole ass song about how they don't talk about you while talking about you.
You should have told me
Is that
the
such a
second
bad
you
thing?
saw the vision.
Right?
Think of
I
the
don't know.
family.
I was thinking
but-
of my daughter.
Exactly.
Peppa, calm down.
She's
I'm doing
trying.
my best. You're lucky it's not a hurricane.
You've always
Period.
been too hard on Mirabel.
Look around. We must protect our family. Our Encanto.
Alma, I
We cannot lose our
understand, but okay, this exchange is small but loaded because it exposes the fundamental tension between individual needs and the collective, and how, ironically, ignoring individuals is what weakens the collective the most. It's almost as if the collective doesn't exist without the individuals. It's almost as if the individuals are strong and whole, the collective will be strong and whole. By the way, if you're interested in this topic of community and its dark side, you should definitely check out my Lion King 2 deep dive. But anyway, back to Encanto and its devouring mother archetype. So, Alma's accusation that Mirabel's father wasn't putting the family first is so telling, because in her mind, family only exists as a unit, not as individuals. So, she can't comprehend that protecting one person, his daughter, was in fact an act of love for the family. If she had created an environment where individual fears, individual desires, and struggles could be voiced, there wouldn't be so many secrets, okay? So much avoidance and so much fear of disappointing her. People would actually have open conversations, perhaps, and that's the kicker. When a system refuses to acknowledge individual needs, it breeds secrecy. If people aren't given space to express themselves openly, they will do it in the shadows instead. The Madrigals aren't keeping secrets from Abuela because they want to. They are keeping secrets because they feel unsafe telling the truth, but also because they feel like protecting her from the truth in the same way Abuela does for them. It's almost as if they try to say thank you by by hiding their own discomfort. But hello? Guys, lying, hiding, omitting, these will never bring you closer to someone else. Maybe it will for a while and maybe extremely superficially, but it's not a long-term solution because truth has this nasty little habit of coming to the surface. And when it does, it can either create connection or destroy a relationship. But there's no in between when you hide, lie, or omit things. And here, Mirabel's parents try gently, hesitantly almost, to push Abuela towards accountability, to suggest that maybe, just maybe, I don't know, she also has a role to play in the fragility of the family. But instead of even acknowledging the idea, Alma redirects the conversation to the house breaking down. And let's be clear, this is not deflection, okay? I mean, it is, but it comes out of survival. So it's really a survival strategy right now. If she acknowledges that her control has caused harm, then everything she's built is at risk. And that thought is devastating, especially after years of sacrifice and hard work. And here's the hard truth as well about community. Crises don't wait their turn. 2, 3, 5 issues can collapse on you at once as a community, and when they do, there are no neat answers. Mirabel's personal struggle and Casita's crumbling walls aren't separate. They are symptoms of the same neglect. Both need equal and urgent attention because they weren't addressed properly, like at the right time. So now they have piled up, you see? And that's why the illusion of control always fails in the end, because the things you ignore don't disappear. They just pile up until they're too big to contain. And in a moment, it could all go boom.
If I see something that you don't like, you're gonna be all, Bruno makes bad things happen. Oh, he's creepy and his vision killed my goldfish.
I don't think you make bad things happen.
It's interesting how, you know, the youngest of the family is facilitating the healing and you know, the welcoming back in a way of Bruno.
I think you're gonna help the candle.
Hey!
There's someone with you, and you fight her. What? Wait, no. Is that a hug?
Am I biting or hugging?
Mirabel, chill.
Embrace.
It's an
To make
embrace.
the candle bright, you have to embrace her.
Embrace who?
Easy enough.
Almost there.
Who is it?
Almost there.
Drum roll, please.
I got it.
And it's Isabella.
Isabella!
Oh, well, that high pitch told us everything, didn't it?
Oh, your sister.
Yeah.
It's great.
Right? No, never mind.
Every time.
So, of course, Mirabel is desperate for answers, but Bruno, despite literally having the gift of foresight, doesn't have them, and that's significant. The night Mirabel didn't get her gift, Abuela came to Bruno to demand certainty. In a way, that's exactly what Mirabel is asking for right now, so this must be triggering to Bruno to some degree. That's what Alma really wanted, by the way, control over the unknown. And when he looked into the future, all he saw was uncertainty. The vision kept shifting, flickering between destruction and salvation, and that's something the family couldn't really accept. That's what convinced Bruno he was useless for the family. That's why he left after all. Not because he was the villain they made him out to be, but because he knew how they would react. They would see Mirabel as a threat, assume the worst, and exile her the way they did him. So instead, he exiled himself first in order to keep her safe. However, Mirabel is not satisfied with that answer. She refuses to believe that this is just how things are, that fate is sealed, that uncertainty is a dead end. She needs to know what happens next, so she pushes Bruno to have another vision, not out of fear, not to control the future like Abuela, but because she believes that knowing the truth is better than running from it. That's why she's able to guide him through his vision and find a sort of answer. That's the real difference between Mirabel and the rest of the family, by the way, where they fear the unknown. She faces it. That's the truth gift that nobody else has, because unlike the rest of the family, she doesn't have a gift. Not in the supernatural sense anyway. She has the type of superpowers you and I might have, like, you know, courage, curiosity, empathy, kindness. She has a thirst for knowledge and truth balanced with love for her family.